and welcome back to English Language Teachers React. In this video, we are going to be reacting to some real-life teachers that have uploaded their videos onto YouTube that are teaching English. This week, we're looking at someone in Japan that was teaching to over, what the video says is 70-plus students. But first off, I'm Neil, teacher, and I'm here with my esteemed, the all-powerful Professor
Rich, Professor Richa. That's all I have.
like
Professor Rich, youtube.com/Professor Rich, specializing in unique teaching techniques that you've never seen before in your life. Not really, I haven't uploaded a video in like 3 months, but that's me. I don't have anything else.
It's on the way. It's rough and ready Rich. Hashtag rough and ready Rich. T-shirt on the way. Should we cue up the video then?
Oh, are we ready? We're just going to dive right into it?
We're going to just dive right in. I don't have any background on this, just the description.
Well, neither do I, actually. Let's have a look. Boom! How are we doing?
It looks like a rural setting. How many students do you count on? I guess you can't really see. Maybe there's more behind.
What are all these books here?
I don't know. It's not what I normally saw. This, I guess, maybe because it seems more rural, that they just don't have an under desk, like a cubby like my students have.
Right.
And I don't see a PowerPoint or anything, so it looks like she's old school chalk and blackboard.
Yeah, you can do that, but okay.
And everyone's wearing jackets.
And they all have the same haircuts, even the girls. Except they have a ponytail, but like, I think maybe it's the resolution of the camera. Anyway, should we have a bit of a listen?
Yeah, let's dive in.
Sarah, I am your new English teacher, and I am very pleased to meet you. I hope that we will become good friends. I would like to start by telling you all a little bit about myself and where I come from. I come from a little island called the United Kingdom. My country is England.
Can you stop that for a second?
Do you think that anyone's understanding anything that she's saying?
Yeah, I'm not sure of that either. I think these are middle school students, but based on her setting, it could be that they know very little. If this is kind of their first English teacher exposure. But it's kind of hard to tell, especially when you've got that many students. What she says, 80 students.
Yeah, but we can see them. I mean, to me, it looks like they don't understand what she's saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just looks like they're kind of...
I mean, yeah, okay, from her perspective, and I don't know how much experience she has as a teacher. Maybe she doesn't have much, which, is obviously not going to be her fault. But my God, yeah, this almost seems... to be honest, for me right now, this is almost comparable to some of the car crashes that we watched in our sort of dramatic react.
Yeah, I mean, it's got your pet peeve, the unnatural language. I mean, I can.
Yeah, no, it is, Neil. It is for many reasons, but I don't think it's necessarily going to help them understand. To say, I'm from a small island called the United Kingdom. I mean, I don't know if their English is going to be good enough to catch any of that, and whether it is or it isn't, it's not going to be very helpful to them to talk in that way. So yeah, I'd like to see where she's going to go with this. I mean, they've uploaded this thing; it's 12 minutes. Presumably, there's some successes in there. So
hopefully,
well, let's see. I suppose.
Yeah.
Do you all know where England is? Yes? Good. England is a very small country. China is a very big country. So England and China are very different. In England, schools are very different to schools in China. In English schools,
Looks like she's reading from a script.
I want to call bullshit. I don't know, man. I'm I'm a little bit skeptical about this being first lesson in China. I just think that
I
from
wouldn't
what
do
you've
this in my first lesson.
from what you've said about it being a rural setting, from the age of the students and from the things that she's saying, I'm a little bit surprised in the way that they're responding. You know, it's like they're reacting, you know, that they do understand, and there's laughing and stuff. And I just kind of think, you know, I mean, it indicates to me that these students have more knowledge than what we're led to believe from the title of the video. Put it that way.
Well, you know, how it works generally in China with the public schools, because this is obviously a public school, is that you'll have the local teacher that will be teaching English from, you know, just following the public school curriculum. And then, you know, you'll have, you know, a native speaker like she is, and, you know, like us, that, you know, will go in and also teach as well. But, you know, sometimes we're teaching what's on the curriculum, you know, we're kind of like co-teachers. Other times we're just like, oh, go in and teach whatever you want. And it seems like for her class, she's just kind of giving her background and looking at differences. Now, you know, I mean, maybe that this whole slow speech helps them, you know, in a way that they can kind of understand. But
I mean, these kids, what are they? 10? Like, what are we saying?
They look like middle schoolers to me. You know, like just either, I would say, like maybe like grade 7 or 8 or something like that.
Right. So okay. Right. So that would be, what would that be? So that would be a bit older. That would be what, like 11?
Yeah, 11 or 12,
okay.
I would say.
Yeah, okay, 11, 12, right. So, I mean, I did French at school, you know. I remember, you know, the French lessons at school with the English teacher teaching us, you know, je m'appelle Richard, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? If some French person got in front of the stage and started saying the stuff she's saying, I wouldn't understand anything. Nothing. You know, to the extent that I can laugh at it, I wouldn't understand anything. Now,
I'd give a counterpoint to that. I would say that the language teaching that we get that I got in the UK is not comparable to outside of the UK. I think generally the language, you know, the communicative language teaching, when they're teaching English tends to be a lot better and a lot more held highly. Like, I think English, when they're talking about their core subjects in China, they're talking maths, they're talking science, they're talking Chinese and English. Whereas, you know, foreign language is not a core component in the UK. Plus, when they're going home and they're listening to songs and they're watching movies and TV, it's likely that they've seen a lot of that in English, where on the opposite, you know, I'm not watching French stuff apart from Asterix, probably.
No, fair enough, man. Fair enough. I mean, I don't have any experience teaching Chinese kids, so I couldn't say for sure. But yeah, if that
But
is
I would
the
apply
case,
that to like Swedish kids or
well, no, but I really would apply it to
Spanish.
Swedish kids, but that's a different thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if I meet a Swedish person, my expectation from the previous Swedish people I've met is that they speak really good English. I mean, they watch American movies all the time. They speak a lot of English just day to day. They are good English speakers, but my perception of China is that isn't necessarily the case. But I don't know because I've never been there. So maybe it is. Maybe the teaching is better than what I expected. Yeah, no, sure. I mean, we're only 1 minute 35 in the video. Maybe we can give the girl a chance and let's see what happens. Eh?
Sure, keep going.
There are only 25 students in one class. In your class, 80 students. Oh, very big, very different. In England, class starts at 9 a.m.
Is she doing some sort of dictation? Like she's gonna read something out and then they're gonna have a comprehension based on it?
She's reading from something.
Yeah, well, she is definitely, she's absolutely reading from a script, but
and I actually think because a lot of one thing in China they can count to 10 with one hand, so it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I think she used 9. I think this is 9. I can't remember off the top of my head, so I'm not sure if she was using the Chinese counting system. So I think that I kind of feel like I'm being what's that? When you got the pool shark? Hustled. Kind of feel like I'm being hustled a little bit.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I think it's absolutely guaranteed we're being hustled, but I can almost forgive that a little bit. I mean, early days YouTube, maybe I would have done the same. It's kind of an old video, and people still set things up now. But if we're to look at it in a charitable Tefl perspective, for me, it seems like what this could or should be is that she prefaces it with, first of all, it's not her first class, or it's not their first class, but she's coming up and she's like, hi guys, I've arrived recently. Some of you know me, some of you don't know me. Now your teacher's explained, I'm going to say some things and I'll say them twice, right? And I'd like you to just listen and try to remember the things that you understand while I'm saying them, right? And then she goes into her spiel. So I'm from the UK, it's a small island, China's a lot bigger than the UK, blah, 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 right? And that would be a dictogloss, right? That would be her, she says her little spiel twice, everyone just listens, and at the end of it she says, right, with a partner, write down the key words that you remember from the things I said. And maybe that's where she's going to go with it, I don't know. But that's what it seems like she sort of should be doing with this sort of spiel at the moment.
Well, let's see where she goes with it then.
All right.
And finishes at 3 p.m. Very short day. What time do you start school? What time do you start school?
I don't know about that. There's a bit of excessive sign language going on here, isn't there?
She's just done a lot of language before that, which was more difficult. And now she's, I suppose she's toning it down. She's grading it because she's going into an activity, but
yeah, I mean, that's, yeah. So you confuse the students with a load of commentary. God. You confuse the students with a load of commentary about what's going on and all this kind of stuff, which is, she was using sort of intermediate level language at times, and then suddenly you go into this, oh, what time, and then using accentuated mimes. What time do you start school? Well, let's see what, again, I want to see, will anyone actually respond to this?
Yeah.
Do you start school at 7 a.m.? Yes? No? Yes? Okay. Do you start school at 6 a.m.? Yes? No? Yes? No? Yes? No? Okay. Do you start school at 5:30 a.m.? Yeah. Okay. So I start school at 5:30 a.m.
Can we pause that for a second?
Yeah, totally.
So this whole, when do you start school? And she, she didn't get a response from them. I mean, she could have picked a student. Normally, like in my classes, I would have a go-to student, that I would know that would, like have an answer just in case, like a break glass sort of situation. But I think one of the things that she could have done is she's going like 7 a.m. and then doing the whole hand thing. You can, do it 7 a.m. Yes. No, at least getting some clearer instructions so they're not just kind of all shouting out at the same time. She's confused, they're confused. Why not instruct them? You think yes, right hand, yes, left hand, or yes, one hand, yeah, no, two hands, or a cross, or something, right? Because it just feels like they're just talking over each other.
Yeah.
What
I don't
are you getting at?
I'm torn between two things at the moment, where I don't know if I should feel terribly sorry for her because, it's genuinely her first lesson and she's just running through the motions of whatever she's got, which is like maybe the Chinese student said, hello, here's what I want you to do. We're going to record it. That might be the case, right? Speak very slowly, don't pronounce everything, don't say, do you want a cup of tea? Say, do you want, right? Maybe that's what it is. And she's given her a little plan, right? Which is that flip chart she's got laid out in front of her that you can see. And, in the plan, if no one says anything, just write it on the board, Now, I don't know why anyone would think that that's going to look good on camera. It did actually seem to me that some of the students did know what she was talking about because you heard from the audience response that it seemed like there were, so you've obviously got stronger students and weaker students, so you have got the opportunity to say, boom, boom, anyone? How about you guys over there? The ones that are murmuring a little bit louder than the other people.
Yeah.
What do you think? But obviously, to be fair to her, if she really is a new teacher, then just to spot that stuff takes a bit of experience, doesn't it? So,
but it's like what we've talked about before. What's the rationale? Why go through that whole 7, 6, 5:30? And what is
Just,
what is the purpose? What is the why?
yeah, true.
I'm
Yeah,
going to predict next. What do you predict is going to happen next? Are we going to go into a drill where she has all the class say it, or is she going to pick out on individuals where an individual will say it? Are they going to write it down? What's going to happen next?
I think at this stage, I'm not sure that we're going to see anything.
More teacher talk time?
Yeah, basically, I don't think we're going to see anything of particular value. I think what we're going to see is a performative act of the teacher in front of a camera, which my suspicion would be was instigated by the Chinese English teacher at this particular school. So I think we're going to see a teacher sort of dance through a script and certain motions. And if we actually see some student interaction or student activity, well, you know, I would like to discuss that.
Okay.
But I guess we'll see whether that actually happens.
We shall see.
All right. I need to boom. Okay.
School at 5:30 a.m. Let's do it together. Okay, so I start school at 5:30 a.m. Again, I start school at 5:30 a.m. Again, I start school at 5:30 a.m. Good. What time do you finish school? Do you finish school at 8 p.m.? Do you finish school at 9 p.m.? No. Do you finish school at 10 p.m.? Yes. Okay, so I finish school at 10 p.m. I finish school at 10 p.m. Do it together. I finish school at 11 p.m. And again, I finish school at 11 p.m. I start school at 5:30 a.m. I finish school at 11 p.m. Good, again. I start school at 5:30 a.m. I finish school at 11 p.m. Good. In England, at 5:30 a.m., I am sleeping. In England, at 10 p.m., I am sleeping again. In England,
Can we pause for a sec?
I live with my father,
Chris?
my mother, and my dog. My dog.
Pause.
Do you know?
So that was it. Drills.
Yeah, basically.
And
Yeah.
then yeah.
So yeah,
And
so
it
we
looks like she's going on to something else. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, could we even say that that's controlled practice? I would just say that that's still part of presentation. You know, where's the
yeah, well, you would say it was start of presentation, but again, you've got people in the crowd laughing at these jokes she's cracking about sleeping at, you know, she's gone on to present continuous. She's like, yo, I'm sleeping at 5:30. And they're like, ha ha ha. Like, who's understanding that and how? You know, if she's running these choral drills of the present simple of I start school at 5:30 a.m., Which,
Well, I think they can probably work out 5:30 a.m. and she is miming the sleep. So, I think you could put 2 and 2 together with that. 5:30.
Okay,
sleep.
5:30 a.m. So these kids already understand the times. So they've done times. So they know 5:30 a.m. Then she does a thing and they go, ha, so funny, right? But now she's going on to a completely different subject.
Yeah.
In the first 6 minutes.
Of her first lesson in front of these students.
First
It says on
lesson.
her video, so of 80 plus students. Ambitious.
80 plus students, yeah, pretty ambitious. Well, speaking of ambition though, on the one hand, these 80 students, pretty compliant, not hearing a lot of Chinese, not seeing a lot of students get up and do weird stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I presume the person behind the camera is the local teacher that would rain now hellfire.
She's got a stick.
Yeah.
She's like every time she says like something that's supposed to be funny, she like holds up a board, laugh. I don't know, man. I don't want to say that that's actually what's going on, but I don't know. There's definitely a very synthetic feel about it, isn't there?
I don't know. I feel like it's motivating you to head to China just to get your props for your stand-up career.
Well, there's various things going on, isn't there? I mean,
there might be convulsions with your dad jokes. Who is the funniest man ever?
The thing is, like, it doesn't. She's got a coat on. It must be cold in the classroom. Chalk and the blackboard and stuff. I mean, starting out when we first looked at it, you'd have to say like, well, it can be done, but it's it could be a little bit tough. Particularly with the 80 students or whatever, but now it does seem it seems like they've gone for the synthetic option, and I don't necessarily blame them for that. It's like it's difficult to throw yourself on the pyre, so to speak, to say like I'm actually going to record my first lesson in China with 80 students. So I don't think this person needs to be pilloried or anything,
Yeah.
And she probably wasn't much of a part of it anyway. It was probably orchestrated by the local school, or by, as you said, the cameraman, right?
Maybe the recruiters as well. I mean, couple of I think my first video that I did, that was like a training video to help out some teachers. So
okay.
Could
All
be.
right. I would be aghast if this was a training video, but if it's a recruiting video, sure. All right, let's see what she does.
Dog. Yeah. Good. Okay, so I live with my mother. Okay. My mother and my dog. Okay, so I live with my father, my mother, and my dog. Let's do it together. I live with my father, my mother, and my dog. Good. I live with my Yes, I live with my parents.
All right, this is 100% bullshit. It's obviously completely synthetic, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, there's no way. Yeah, there's just no way that this has any kind of progression where there's no feedback from the students. She doesn't know what they're understanding and not. Some of them seem to be getting it, some of them don't seem to get it. At the most charitable level, there's let's say at the most charitable level, 5% of the students already understand all of this and they're leading the entire class. But I don't believe that would be the case, because you'd have classroom control issues if that were the case. So I think the whole thing, I don't know, I'm edging towards the idea that that there's been a dry run of this, and we're now getting the recorded version.
Oh.
I don't know.
That is something that they do in China. It is something that they do in China. But well, I'm not sure if she has done the dry run, or maybe the dry run was done with the local teacher, just going, you know, like she's just using the vocabulary and flipping it over to her. Yeah, I don't know, but I would not be able to say, well, what's her lesson objective? What are the students going to come away with that at the end of the class? You know, what's the primary aim?
Well, I mean, definitely. Well, we're about to see the explosive communicative activity is going to like blow our minds. I think I'm gonna press play on this thing, and it's just going to be like all the kids stand up, and like, and just do this amazing thing. Okay, let's have a look.
I live with my parents. Again, I live with my parents. Good. I live with my father and my mother. Good. Ooh. And my son. Good. I live with my parents and my dog. I live with my parents and my dog. Good. I also have 3 older brothers. 3 older brothers. Older brothers. Now, they like good. They really like computer games. So they like playing computer games. Good. Again, they like playing computer games. Good.
Maybe this is just like the best class or whatever, because here they introduced their own vocabulary. You know, she didn't even mention watching TV or playing computer games. They're just like, oh, playing computer games. So they've obviously done this before.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's where I paused at that moment. I just want to get a good look at these kids.
And this 35-year-old guy.
No. He's like 12 or something, isn't he? But
maybe they're much older than that.
No. They are. They're adolescents, but I feel like, I feel like it is definitely very orchestrated. You know, they're sitting there, they're being very well behaved, and they're playing along with her little pantomime, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, to us as English teachers, what she's doing.
They also like.
Are we going to swing back to her? Well, the camera person's gone on the fucking a crazy little spin here, but you know, I mean, the topics that she spun through, You know, she started off with this dictation about the UK and China and islands and stuff. And then, you know, she's spun on to her, you know, what was it she said? It was some sort of present simple. She had 2 present simple sentences, didn't she?
I start school, I finish school.
That's right. I start school at this. So she's got times and present simple sentences. And then, boom, family vocab. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, my father, my mother, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And then now we're on to present continuous. You know, and it's like, what? Okay. We're jumping through some hella topics here.
Yeah,
you know,
for
a so-called beginner class.
We're going to learn the whole curriculum of the semester in this first class. That's it, boom.
So what I'm hoping for is within the next minute, we're going to jump into second conditional. And then in the minute after that, it's going to be cleft sentences and negative adverbials with inversion. That's and the kids are going to leave this class being like, never have I ever experienced such a teacher. I don't know, man.
It's a piece of cake.
Yeah, totally. Okay, this is a promo video. I guess let's see.
Let's just finish it out and
let's finish it
see
out.
how it ends.
Yes. They also like playing football. In America, soccer. In England, football. So they like playing football. Good. They like playing computer games and football. They like playing computer games and football. Good. I like playing computer games, but I don't like playing football. No. I have many hobbies.
I want to just retract my comment earlier about her miming. I think I think I was annoyed about other things, and I took it out on her miming. Actually, her miming is good. I actually think this person, has a lot of talent in communicating what she's trying to say. Mm-hmm. But I think it's misused here because this is obviously very synthetic, mm-hmm. And I think that's the problem that I had. I mean, the way that she then communicated that she likes playing video games and doesn't like playing football. It was, actually I could see myself doing a similar thing with an elementary level class. So yeah, I think actually she physically communicates quite well, and I don't think there's any problem with doing that when you need to do it. I think the problem here is that we have very many questions about what the objectives are of this class and also what the profile is of this classroom. What are these students?
Yeah.
Because there's all kinds of things being communicated to them, and there's a big question about.
I mean, if this is like the first time that they're hearing all of this language, I would be like, this is insane amount. But if they've previously done time, if they've previously done family vocabulary, and the main topic is hobbies, then I could see how she would be using that as a warmer to build up and then transition to doing hobbies. But then, that's an awful long warmer to then start presenting vocabulary and lexi around hobbies.
Well, I think we're well out of that territory, aren't we? Yeah. Well, as I said, I think it's already clear what this is. What is this plant here in the corner, by the way?
I have no idea. It doesn't look like a plant. It just looks like bundles of straw
Okay.
or
Yeah.
hay or
Right, fair
something
enough.
dried.
Fair enough.
I don't know. It looks dead.
I mean, there's a lot of kind of surprising things about this for me. I mean, as I said, I've never been to China, but I mean, as you said, this looks like a kind of a school out in the sticks.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, these kids have half decent coats. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I mean,
it might just be. I could be way off, and this could be like just a school on, close to Shanghai or something like that, but a little bit more rural, just a little bit more run down.
Well, you know, I mean, I when I was in Vietnam, one of the British Council really likes to share these centres with schools, right? And they had their main centre, which was their little thing, but then they also had a centre that was shared with the school, and they just had the top level, and they had it all locked off with locks on the doors and stuff. But obviously we went through the building, and actually the building was very much like this.
Yeah.
And the only difference really between our classrooms and theirs was the arrangement of the seats and the fact that we had computers and projectors and IWBs in our classrooms. The rest of them were exactly just like the building was exactly the same, and the rest of them just had the whiteboards or the blackboards. So yeah, you never know. It might actually not be so much like that. Just because these kids, to me, they don't look that hard done by. You know what I mean?
No.
I don't feel like I'm looking at the
Now that I've
the peasant children of China.
seen them more, Okay, well, we're close to the end.
Yeah, let's try and get to the end of this bad boy.
Hobbies. I like reading books. I like riding my bike. And I like sewing.
Parents in the back.
Do you know?
Sorry?
It looks like there was either parents or other teachers observing.
Yeah,
in the back.
I feel like that as well. Yeah, what was going on there? Yeah, well, we have a lady sitting down with a notepad. Suspicious.
Sewing.
Very suspicious. I'm quite suspicious.
These might actually be high school students.
Might they?
Could be.
Yeah, maybe they are. They are certainly older than previously suspected. I don't know about high school exactly, but maybe secondary.
Okay. I guess we can carry on then.
Hang on, I've jumped all over the place. There we go.
Sewing. Do you know sewing? No. Okay. Sewing.
Oh, give me a break. That was such a load of bollocks. Do
What
you
triggered
know?
you? The sewing?
Do you know sewing? No. Oh God. Okay, this is an act. I'm sorry. This is an act where everyone is in on it. I really feel. I'm sorry. I really feel like this is something that's been rehearsed. There's just this. All of my spider senses are tingling massively. Okay. Oh, my hobbies are this and this. Oh, do you guys know sewing? And the class calls out in unison. No. That's never happened in 12 years of teaching for me.
No.
And I wouldn't even really ask that question, but I do sometimes because, we do stupid things. Even though we know that it's not the best thing to do, we might do it. Oh, do you guys know what, do you guys know what monitor means or whatever? And just the idea that the class would be like, no, all together. Let's just hear that again, just to hear how ridiculous it is.
Okay.
Sewing. Do you know sewing? No.
Really? You know what I mean? Like,
I know what you
really?
mean.
Yeah. This is way off.
Okay. Sewing.
Drawing stuff. Are they
She better have some goddamn good drawing skills.
There's an awful lot of time dedicated to one piece of vocabulary that they'll never use in their life.
Well, it's interesting,
Unless
isn't it?
there's that one student that's damn hot with sewing, they're just like, yeah, this is my career.
Well, it's interesting because she was drilling them on I start and I finish 10 minutes ago, and now she's teaching them sewing.
Yeah, sewing. Spending a considerable amount of time on it as well.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say she's spending a considerable amount of time on it, but I mean, I guess at the end of the day, like even 10 seconds is a considerable amount of time in it when it's totally
when you're presenting
totally
vocabulary, and like, why if you know you're going to be teaching this stuff, why not just have flashcards prepared, with images, especially for something like sewing, which is so difficult to draw.
Yeah, and you know what? Funnily enough, even given my criticism, hang on, let's just jump back a little bit here. Given my criticism, you know what? Her drawing's really damn good, but you absolutely have a good point. Like, why would you set yourself up to have to draw that? Mm-hmm. And that also makes me question. It's like now there's a conspiracy about the conspiracy, because now I'm thinking, why the heck would someone set up this whole silly routine and then choose sewing to be the one that she has to draw? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could have been like hobbies. Yeah, I like running. She draws a stick man who's like running, and it's like, wow, no problem. Sewing?
It's obviously something in the book that they've got to learn.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, is it? Because it doesn't really match up with all the other nonsense that she's been going on about. But like, if I was going to demo sewing, she's got this big ass coat on her. I would grab that, pull it out, and gesture at it, and try to make it out of the coat rather than trying to draw it in the way that she's doing it.
Or go all realia and just start just bring some sewing in.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I mean, you don't really need realia, do you? Though,
I suppose
you can quite easily mime sewing as long as they can all see you. And I guess if they can see the board, they can see you.
Well, I think she started to do something like that. If you play it.
Oh, does she? Yeah. Before that?
No, after.
Oh, after okay.
Drawing.
Yeah, she does all she needs to do.
Yeah.
She does all she needs to do right there. It's like sewing, jing, jing, jing. Yeah. The idea of drawing on the board, it would make sense if, right, so this is the way, okay, let's take this completely out of context and say, okay, we're in an instance where we're in front of 80 kids and we're teaching specifically the item of sewing. So, okay, mime it, they get it, boom, check it with a couple of them. Say like, yo, you in the corner, boom. Do you sew a table or do you sew a shirt? You over there. What do you use to sew? Do you use your hand or a needle or whatever, right?
Well, Rich,
hand or needle.
You're saying concept checking questions and elaborating and creating lexical webs around this language? Are you crazy? Don't do that. What are you doing? Just draw the picture, man. No, I completely agree. I completely agree, because then, because then you're like, well, sewing, and then maybe knitting comes up. Well, how's that different? There's so many differences.
Yeah.
There's nuances that if you're really going to go into deep dive, then you should be doing that sort of stuff that you say.
Yeah, and after she does that, then by all means whack the picture on the board, write the word. If you're going to whack the picture on the board, write the word. Maybe expand on it a bit if you want to get really fancy about this. This is not really, it's never traditionally been my style, but I do it sometimes. But I've seen people do it really well, where you get something and it's a new piece of vocab, and you whack it on the board and you just start expanding on it and going crazy. And you've got sew and sewing, and as you said, you can talk about knitting. You say, listen guys, you've got to be careful because there's knitting, which is different, and then you bring up knitting and you draw that, and you can do a whole expansive vocabulary thing on it. But a key point of that is there does need to be a moment where it sort of gets saved to disk. And that can that can be done in very kind of clever, advanced ways, which, if you've got a class of 6 students, then you can sort of engage them personally. You can say like, yo, Juan, if I said to you, tomorrow you have to take up knitting or sewing, you don't have a choice. Which one would you choose, right? And that's the kind of advanced, if you just got a small class of people and you're really nailing them down to it, and you go, he's like, they're for girls or whatever. Okay, fine. If I had to choose sewing because then I can sew my jeans, you're like, yo, Juan, that's awesome. You write it on the board. Juan said, if I could choose, I'd take up, I'd take up sewing rather than knitting because I could sew my jeans. Right, Juan. Write that down in your vocabulary book, and the point is that they're saving to disk, get them to actually engage with it, use it,
personalize
save
it.
it.
Yeah, because I mean, they're talking about sewing as a hobby, but like you said with Juan, sewing jeans, that's not a hobby, that's a repair, that's taking care of your clothes, and finding ways to personalize it. But I think that's when you start to get towards even past controlled practice, when you're going into kind of producing freer practice, that sort of thing, is when you're starting to get them, well, how does it relate to you? Like if she's saying I like sewing, but then maybe this kid this is the first time they've learned of sewing, how does that relate to them? So if it doesn't relate to the kid, how is he going to save it to disk, as you say?
Yeah. Well, I don't think any of them are saving it to disk, because the feeling that I get from this entire video is that they're reading it from disk. It's already there and they're reading it.
Read only.
Yeah, I mean that is what you feel from this, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
so let's see how they round off. I really hope that the way that they round this off is she just like whips out like this board that says, yo, Shanghai English, Oxford School, subscribe, or whatever, and I'm just like, yo, it's a promotional video, it's very clear. All right, let's see.
So I like sewing, and together, sewing. Good. I like reading books. So who can spell reading books?
What the hell? What is going on?
I do want to point out that I do like, and it's something that, you know, I do, is occasionally, not always, she does the, you know, I like reading books. So she's kind of tapping away, and that's actually good when you're doing the vocabulary, you know, when you're drilling vocabulary, or, you know, you're doing phrases or something like that to get the rhythm.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if she's thinking about that.
What do you like? Yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of English is, you know, like we go, I'm a, you know, and we've got that beat, that rhythm. I'm a, you know, and other words, especially when you're trying to do syllables and stuff, you knock them out on the boards or you clap them out. You know, all the stuff that they teach in like the CELTA.
Well, I mean, actually, my impression of her as a teacher is that, you know, I think actually she is a good teacher. I don't think this video is anything really to do with her as a teacher. I think she has a number of techniques. You know, you've pointed about the rhythm thing she's got going on. I think she's pretty good at miming. I think she's very personable. I think that the synthetic way that she demonstrates language, I don't like, but let's give her a chance. I mean, at the end of the day, I think most beginner teachers, and me included, had no idea about, you know, weak forms and stuff like that. You know, you don't get to that until you at least do CELTA. And even with CELTA, you know, just sometimes people jump through CELTA and manage to miss that point. So, you know, phonemics is a complex subject, but, you know, I think there's a lot of good techniques coming from her as a teacher, definitely.
Yeah, I think, you know, I'd love to see her, a class where, I don't know, that it's not one of these rehearsed classes.
That's a good point.
Or
that would,
in a different environment to 80 plus students in a Chinese public school, you know.
No, I truly believe that if we could see like one of her live classes now, if she's still teaching, she would school us some stuff.
Yeah, if you're the teacher that was in that video, and you see this, you know, we'd love to have you on. Have an interview with you.
Neil will pay you $10 million.
Yeah, Rich will pay you $10 million.
I'll pay you $10 million in my virtual video game account.
Because I mean, it's difficult. I think one of the things you've got to give credit to her and generally people that have to do those, the teachers with those sorts of classes, is they take a lot of the tools away from the teacher. I mean, you know, when you're talking about British Council, you can move your classroom around, you can kind of configure it on how you think it's going to be best for your
You don't
lesson.
get 80 you don't get 80 students either.
You don't have 80 students. I mean, it's kind of, you're learning, it's a trial by fire. I mean, it's not a conducive atmosphere to learning, but hats off to, you know, local Chinese teachers and other teachers that have these sort of classroom layouts. They do it. They get the kids to learn, and that's the important thing. It's not the way that the ideal. So definitely hats off to that, because you know, if that's what you've got, that's what you've got. You just got to find a way to get through to those kids.
How do I reach these kids?
As I can't remember his name from Stand and Deliver. Adama, as Adama said, from Stand and Deliver.
So say we all.
So wrapping up this video, if you are the teacher, again, if you are the teacher in this video and you want to come on and you can talk about this video, talk about our reactions, kind of give us the inside, go under the covers with us. No, behind the scenes, if you know what I mean. Please, DM us, send us a message, eltunderthecovers@gmail.com, and we'd love to have you on the show, and we'd love to give you an interview and get your side of the story. But there we go. Do you have some comments, Rich?
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I mean, obviously any interviews that we take are from a very positive perspective. I might seem like a complete arsehole at times, but perfectly honestly, I'm just making my comments on the fly. And to me, the teacher in that particular video, she seems like she's got a lot of stuff going on for her. And, that's probably, from what we can tell, that's early on in her career. And, most likely, she's done a lot with that, and no longer under the control of her, control of the local teachers in that particular institution who were recording that video. So, it'd be great. It'd be great to speak to anyone who's involved in any of the videos that we feature, including, the mind your language actors. That would also be absolutely fantastic.
That'd be tasty.
Can you
maybe
imagine?
get a Dharma on as
Can you
well.
imagine? Oh, if we could get, let's get a Dharma. Let's get a Dharma on.
Yeah, please just reach out. If anyone's out there and you know him, we'll have him on, talk about his role.
Like, subscribe, share on social media.
Yeah, I'm Neil Teacher, teamteacherchina.com, YouTube channel, Team Teacher China, all one word, Team Teacher English and Team Teacher Baby. We've got a whole ecosystem of Team Teacher going on there. Check those out.
And send your PayPal donations to professorrich@gmail.com. And not really, but if you do want to, whatever. But no, we don't have that set up yet. Nice to see you all, and we'll catch you next time. We've got lots of things coming up.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe. Bye-bye.